Welcome to Mikamcha Yisrael. In this week's Parashat, Borei Olam tells Moshe Rabbeinu that the journey of his life has sadly come to an end. He may ascend to Har HaAvarim. He may gaze upon the beauty of Eretz Yisrael, but he'll never enter it. Imagine that moment. For 40 years, Moshe Rabbeinu carried an entire nation through the wilderness. He confronted Paro, he split the sea, and he ascended Har Sinai. He received the Torah and endured complaint after complaint, rebellion after rebellion, all with one dream: to lead Am Yisrael into the promised land. Now the land is finally before him, and Borei Olam tells him, you will see it, but you'll never enter it. If there was ever a moment when a person could be forgiven for thinking about himself, this was certainly it. Yet Moshe's first response is astonishing. He doesn't ask for another opportunity. He doesn't even plead to have the decree rescinded. Instead, he immediately turns his attention away from himself and he says, Yifkod Hashem Elokai haruchot lechol basar ish ha'edah. May Borei Olam appoint a leader over the congregation who will care for the people after I am gone. Rashi then goes on to say something astonishing. This teaches the praiseworthiness of the righteous. When they depart from the world, they put aside their own concerns and occupy themselves with the needs of the community. My good friend Rabbi Yisachar Fran shares a breathtaking midrash. David HaMelech writes, Ka'ayal ta'arog al afike mayim. As the deer longs for the streams of water, so my soul longs for you, Borei Olam. But Chazal noticed something unusual. The verse begins with the masculine word ayal, yet the verb is feminine, referring to an ayelet. Why? The midrash explains that is speaking about a female deer. At the very moment she's giving birth, she is in excruciating pain, yet all of the other animals gather around her because they're desperately thirsty. Normally, she digs into the earth with her antlers until Borei Olam opens a hidden and underground spring and provides water for all the creatures. But now she can't move. She's in labor. If she were like most of us, she might cry out, can't you see what I'm going through? I can't help you today. But that's not what happens. The Midrash says that even while enduring unimaginable pain, she turns to Borei Olam. Not for herself, but for the thirsty animals surrounding her. Her own suffering never blinds her to the suffering of others. Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky says, this is almost beyond human nature. When people are hurting, their world naturally becomes small. Their vision becomes more narrow. They become consumed by their own pain, don't we? The ayelet does exactly the opposite. The greater her pain, the greater her awareness of everyone else's. Suddenly, Chazal's comparison becomes crystal clear. The ayelet wasn't merely a metaphor, it was a portrait of Moshe Rabbeinu himself, standing atop Har HaAvarim, looking at a land he would never enter, feeling the deepest personal disappointment of his life, yet asking only one question: who's going to care for Am Yisrael? That is the heart of Jewish leadership. True greatness isn't measured by how loudly a person speaks about himself. It's measured by how completely he can forget himself when someone else needs him. And with that in mind, let me share a fascinating story. In the 1970s, during the great Baal Teshuvah movement, if you remember, countless Jewish families rebuilt their lives around Torah. But when they tried enrolling their children in religious schools, many were turned away and the pain was crushing. These were parents who had sacrificed everything to return to Yiddishkeit, only to be told that their children didn't belong. When Rav Avram Dov Auerbach, known affectionately as Rav Beryl, heard what was happening, he immediately understood what was at stake. At first he tried everything. Picked up the phone, he called the principals. He met with administrators. He pleaded. He even reasoned. He explained what these families had sacrificed, but nothing changed. So one morning, he walked into a school. He asked to see the principal. He opened up a large Gemara and quietly says, I'm not leaving this building until this child is accepted. The principal argued. Rav Beryl listened respectfully, but he didn't move. Finally, the principal said, and I quote, if you won't leave my office, then I will. He walked out. Rav Beryl calmly picked up his Gemara, walked into the hallway, sat down on the staircase, and continued learning. Ladies and gentlemen, for hours he sat. Sometimes he sat there until late in the afternoon. Sometimes he returned the next day. His own learning schedule was interrupted. His own time no longer belonged to him. Another Jewish child mattered more. This happened again and again and again. Never shouting, never threatening, simply refusing to abandon another Jewish child. Eventually, something remarkable happened. Whenever a bear entered a school, the secretary would immediately notify the principal. Before he had even had a chance to sit down, the principal would come out and ask, please, who is it this time? Within minutes, there was suddenly room. Years later, someone asked one of those principals, why did you always give in? Why did you acquiesce? His answer was unforgettable. Once I realized who I was dealing with, I understood this was an ish emet, a man who wasn't fighting for himself. He was fighting for what was right. The only rationale, the only way to respond was to say yes. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps that is why the Torah tells us not only what Moshe prayed, but when he prayed it. Not after entering the land, not after seeing his dream fulfilled, but at the very moment he learned that his dream never would be. And even then, his first thought, it wasn't about himself. It was about Am Yisrael. At the very moment his own dream was slipping away, he was still carrying someone else's dream. Perhaps, just perhaps, that is what true greatness looks like. May Borei Olam help us become people who never become so consumed by our own struggles that we stop seeing someone else's. Mika'amchi Yisrael and Shabbat Shalom.